Hello everybody, Carmine from New York here on this lovely August 7, 2022 Sunday morning, talking to you about photography and teaching while I do it. So, I ran into a problem that I think the whole universe knew except me. Here's what I'm talking about. Lately, as you know, my last few videos have been about the Olympus system, the Micro Four Thirds system, the pen series, right? The EPL 1, 3, 6, 8, etc., right? Micro Four Thirds mirrorless system, right? This happens to be the EPL 8 with the VF2 electronic viewfinder on top, okay? So I took this out for my normal everyday photo shoots here in New York. So I happened to grab this Micro Four Thirds lens to use on the Micro Four Thirds body. This is the only Panasonic Lumix lens that I own. This is the 45-200. It's a really beautiful lens. Okay, it's the Vario, right? The zoom is very good. It's nice and quiet. However, here's the issue. This is the first time I used this Panasonic Lumix lens on my Olympus Micro Four Thirds cameras. Now, I had this lens when I owned the G7, the Panasonic Lumix G7, and I never sold it because it was a gorgeous lens. Don't forget, on Micro Four Thirds, that 45-200 gives you the results of a 90-400 millimeter lens in this size. This is the beauty part about Micro Four Thirds. This is a 400 millimeter lens, and it fits basically in the palm of my hand. Okay, so I attached. Before I continue, you have to understand my thinking, right? I lived through the period of reading in photography magazines where Panasonic/Lumix corroborated with Olympus on developing the Micro Four Thirds system. They joined forces to create this system. So in my brain, the Lumix Panasonic lens, right? It's got all the contacts for autofocus, auto aperture, and optical image stabilization, right? It's got all the pins for it. It should work absolutely marvelous with the Olympus system. In this case, like I said, the EPL 8. I did also use it on the OMD EM1 Mark II with exact results. Here's what I'm getting at. When I took this out for my photo shoot, I went to a local park. It was a beautiful day. The sun was out. And I took my usual summer flower photographs, because before you know it, the petals on flowers will be gone, because the fall will be here before you know it. It's one thing about New York City. We have super hot summers, and then bang, it's snowing. Your fall season is so short that you kind of miss it. So I knew that even though it's August, it sounds silly, but before you know it, all the petals on the flowers will be gone. Anyway, so this is the exact system I went out with, right? The Panasonic lens with optical image stabilization turned on, and of course, The reason you buy Olympus cameras is because it has in-body image stabilization. And you can adjust it. They have several settings. You can turn it off. You can have it always on. And you can manage your stabilization in the body. Like if you want to pan horizontally, you can just set it where it won't interfere with your horizontal panning. Anyway, so I take this out and I'm taking my photographs. Right now, this isn't a macro lens, but when you zoom it all the way out to 200, or in reality it's a 400 lens, and you get back not far, maybe 5 feet, oh, it'll fill the frame with that flower. Anyway, so I took the photographs. I get back, I put the SD card in my computer. I'm going through the files. I shot RAW and JPEG. I'm looking at the files. I go, wait a second. This doesn't even look like any of the image stabilization was turned on. So I checked and everything was turned on. I had both turned on. I had the optical image stabilization on the lens, and the IBIS, the in-body stabilization, also was on. Well, to tell you the truth, I was very upset, because I was upset that I wasted my morning photographing and the images were not to my satisfaction at all. So I did a little research to see if anybody else in the world had this problem. Well, wouldn't you know, I have DP Review. If you guys don't know about DP Review, you should really be very interested in going to their website. Digital Photography Review, DP Review. What an aid to both the amateur and professional photographer, because they have a section, the forums. You could put a question in, and you know what? 99.9% of the time, there's going to be a chat back and forth about it. So I wanted to see if anybody else in the world had a problem with Panasonic lenses with the optical image stabilization on an Olympus camera that had the IBIS, in-body image stabilization. Oh my God. Needless to say, more than 100 chats in the forum section about this problem. I want to read to you the Olympus Imaging America reply. This is not from Joe Blow, photographer who's just spitting out his opinion, his non-technical opinion, right? I wanted to know what Olympus has to say about this. So, a little background. This is from dpreview.com, dated December 18, 2012. Almost 10 years ago. Okay? Almost 10 years ago, this information has been out there, and I'm just new to the show. So, here was the question. The title of the question. Panasonic lenses on Olympus bodies? Are automatic corrections applied? This reply, it's not long. It's one sentence or two. This is from a person named Mike at Digital Technical Support of Olympus Imaging America. Here's the official Olympus reply to this. The lens correction data in Panasonic Micro Four Thirds cameras is specific only to Panasonic lenses and does not interface with the properties of Olympus lenses. Conversely, just as the algorithms used in Olympus cameras, let me repeat this so far. Just as the algorithms in Olympus cameras only applies to Olympus lenses. This is an Olympus lens. And not Panasonic lenses. Let me read the second half of that sentence again. Just as the algorithms used in Olympus cameras only apply to Olympus lenses, not Panasonic lenses. The algorithms in this camera body and this camera body, this professional Olympus camera body, the OMD system, the algorithms are not compatible or match with Panasonic Lumix lenses. Bottom line, Olympus camera by Olympus lenses. Lumix Panasonic camera, like the G7 and up, or whatever, stick with Panasonic lenses. Now, was this done because of competition? Hey, you guys wanted a G7, a Lumix G7 or whatever, a Lumix camera? Better buy all lenses, because our algorithms are different. You can't mix Olympus and Panasonic. So, I shot yesterday with a combination that not many people shoot with. Okay? I took this Olympus Pro. Lens. This is the 12 to 100 Olympus Pro lens with optical image stabilization and the EPL8 Olympus camera, right? A Pro lens on this little teeny tiny body, right? I put it on. I had image stabilization on, okay? I went out and I did some street photography in Manhattan yesterday. That was Saturday, August 6th. And you're going to see those photographs right now. No issues. No issues. Olympus with Olympus, perfect. Lumix Panasonic with an Olympus body, not so perfect. Okay? So, I just want to let you guys know these are my findings. This is my findings that I want to bring to your attention. And I'm not the only one that knows. Olympus Imaging of America, they know, the Digital Technical Support Unit, right? The algorithms used in Olympus cameras only applies to Olympus lenses and not Panasonic lenses. Okay? That was from Mike, Digital Technical Support, Olympus Imaging America, December 18, 2012. So, I only have one Lumix Panasonic lens. So, I have a choice. I could sell the lens, or I could buy another G7. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've used this lens before on a G7, and it golden. So, you all might be out there saying, Carmine, why don't you just turn off the optical image stabilization, put a piece of gaffer's tape over it, locking down the switch so it doesn't turn on, and then put it back on your Olympus body. Some of you might be saying that. Well, I did a little test. I tested the system yesterday, interchanging both. I said, let me give this Lumix lens, this Panasonic lens, with the image stabilization turned off on the Pro Modern OMD EM1 Mark II professional body. And the focus, how can I explain it? It was 99.2% perfect. 99.2%. It's not good enough. It's not anywhere near when you put, even forget about a Pro Olympus lens, but it was not near. It was not nearly as sharp as an Olympus lens without, most Olympus lenses don't have optical image stabilization in the lens. Most, because their cameras do. Micro Four Thirds we're talking about. So, the Panasonic lens on the Pro Olympus body, NG, no good. I don't recommend it. Olympus with Olympus, it's very simple. That's what you have to go with. And go with Lumix lenses on a Lumix body. Like I was saying, was it done, the incompatibility of the algorithms, right? Was it done purposely so the word would get out like, hey, Panasonic guys buy Panasonic lenses. Olympus guys buy Olympus lenses. Was that done purposely? I don't know. Is there some kind of patents on the algorithms that Olympus has in their bodies that Panasonic can't put in their lenses? I don't know. But this is what I do know. I ran tests. I wasted my day out photographing. And I just wasn't happy with the Lumix lens on the Olympus body. Okay? So, what are we going to do now? We've gone 17 minutes. We're going to look at photographs I took yesterday using this setup. The Olympus Pro 12-100, optical image stabilization turned on the EPL 8 from Olympus, image stabilization turned on. Let's look at the photographs from Manhattan that I took yesterday. A little bit of street photography. There's only about, I don't know, maybe 15 photographs you're going to see. Let's look at those photographs right now. I was very happy with the outcome. So, what's the future for this Lumix lens? I don't know. I just might, if the price is right on eBay from a seller with 100% feedback credibility, and the price is really low, I might pick up a Lumix camera. I don't know. We have to see. But I just want to end before we get to the photographs. If you're a Panasonic Lumix camera owner, only buy Panasonic Lumix lenses. If you're like me, you're an Olympus camera shooter, Micro Four Thirds, Beast 4/3 camera owner, stick with Olympus lenses. Okay? I can't speak for you guys out there that have adapters where you're shooting vintage glass on your Olympus cameras, right? That's all manual focus, right? Because a lot of those adapters, most of the adapters can't talk to the lens. I think you're better off. I think you're better off with a vintage glass like like from Nikon or whoever, with an adapter on your Olympus camera, going full manual. This way, there is no algorithm mismatch because the camera does not talk, the lens does not talk to the camera. All right? Something to think about. Let's look at the photographs I took on the street in Manhattan yesterday. It was a hot day. All right, guys, take it easy. See you on the next class.